1992, I was alone in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. It was a dull day, and I was feeling sorry for myself. I mean, really sorry for myself, because the authorities had moved me from this beautiful big room with a huge window to a small room with no window, and I could almost touch the ceiling. You know, I'm not very big either. So when I feel sorry for myself, I need some fresh air. And so what I do is I go for a walk. But then I have this habit of saying hello to strangers. So I started on my path and I said hello to the first person I saw, and he just turned and went the other way. So I just kept going, but I said, he's clearly not a people person. And so the next time I said, hello, he just kept on going faster. Not doing too well with this. So I was just walking along and I said, hello, into thin air. And all of a sudden, I heard a hello back. And guess what? I met my friend Mary. And that started a long-term friendship for 13 years. And Mary invited me to church. And after the minister introduced me to the congregation. And so Mary said later, Joyce, I have a pot of soup on the stove. Won't you join me? Of course, I said yes. And that started a very long friendship. I worked in Saudi Arabia for 3.5 years. And one of the favorite things was to go for a walk in the desert. And one day, a friend and I were walking along, and we came upon some Arabs who were sitting on their carpets having tea and sweets. I said, Assalamu alaikum. And they replied, Alaikum salam, and invited us to have tea with them. So we settled down on the carpets, had some tea and sweets, and carried on our conversation in Arabic. Oh, for about 20 minutes or so. And then we went on our way in the desert. Some years later, I was on a ferry traveling to the Orkney Islands in Scotland. And I met a couple, and I said, hello. And they returned the hello. And that started an invitation and a friendship. And 2 years later, I was visiting them in Australia. Every day, we started the day with a big hello. And that is what I call the hello effect. It says, I see you, you matter, and you belong. You know, that friendship lasted for 33 years. Just amazing. My friend just passed away last week. I have written a book, and I have traveled to 187 countries and territories, mostly as a solo traveler. And also, most of it started after I was 57 years old. And I'm almost 90. Thank you very much. That's wonderful. Being 90 it's quite an accomplishment, I think, and I am so blessed to be able to be with you today and do this. Anyway, let's get back to the story. One thing about hello is that it's a connection. It really says, I see you, you're important. And one of the things I found when I traveled, and the reason I could travel so much was because I could always say hello. And that started a conversation and a friendship. But sometimes I notice, and maybe you felt the same way, when you're in a room, you come into a room and people are there, they're all talking, and you feel ignored, isolated, they don't acknowledge you. Well, that happens everywhere. But hello can change everything. One thing I want you to do is to turn to somebody near you right now and say hello with a smile and a twinkle in your eye. Let's try that. Great. This is connection. This is really connection. And I have a challenge. Tomorrow, do the same thing. And I just want to say that hello, you can change the world one person at a time, one hello at a time. And that is how we change the world, one person at a time and one hello at a time. Thank you.